Welcome to this video on Jung's psychological types. This is the Dutch edition of his 1921 work on psychological types, which has found expression in instruments like the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI, and the Kersey temperament system, and other systems out there. And I have created my own interpretation of it, which I have described in my book called The Power of Polarities, an innovative method to transform individuals, teams, and organization based on Carl Jung's theory of the personality. And my name is John van der Steur. And in this video, I'm gonna briefly explain the model I created. And I do that using these colors. You see blue for thinking, green for sensation, yellow for intuition, and red for feeling. And the gray one I'll use for introversion, extroversion. And I called my book The Power of Polarities because Jung's psychology is really a psychology of polarities. He discovered and described the polarities in the psyche, consciousness and the unconscious, ego and the shadow, anima, animus. So he described all the polarities, and his typological model is also a model of polarities. So let's take a moment and put these polarities down. So first, you could also do it last, but the blue color is for thinking. And thinking is analytical and logical, task and achievement oriented. And its opposite red feeling is more oriented towards the feeling value, the heart value, the connection or the relationship you have with people or animals or things. It's your heart connection. And this is your thinking is more your mind connection. And these are polarities, of course. And then on the left you have sensation. Sensation uses the five senses to perceive. And the five senses are sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. And its opposite over here is intuition. And it uses the imagination, the function of the imagination, the ideas that you have. And sensation and intuition are the perceiving functions, and thinking and feeling are the judging functions, or the decision-making functions. So you can perceive the world around you either through the five senses or through the sixth sense, which is the imagination. And I always like to say everything you see in reality is created twice. It's created once in imagination and once in reality. And after we perceive the world around it, we make decisions on it based on either a logical analysis or a logical evaluation, or a feeling, or a relationship, a heart evaluation. Okay, and so we have here the perceiving functions, here the judging functions. So those are the perceiving polarities and the judging polarities. But then there's also introversion or extroversion, which is your orientation or attitude. And in the middle, we'll put introversion, because introversion and extroversion is really the aspect of the personality with which you connect with your inner and outer world. So with introversion, you connect with yourself, your inner self. That's why we put it in the center. In the corners here, we put extroversion. And that is where you connect to the worlds around you. So the four functions have their inner and outer expression. So there is introverted sensation and extroverted sensation. Introverted sensation is the inner processing of facts. It's the storing of facts in your personality. And extroverted, this is SE, is the interaction with facts around you. For instance, when you're tasting a delicious meal, or in sports, interacting in a physical way with the world around you. That is introverted and extroverted sensation. And then we also have introverted and extroverted thinking. Oops, T-E and T-I. So introverted thinking is about creating in your mind a system, a logical system, a logical order. And extroverted thinking is imposing that logical order on the world around you. And you see this a lot in scientists. They try to understand the logical order of things. And intuition, so sensation is focused on the past and the present. It is focused on tangible reality in the past and in the present. And intuition is focused on potentiality, where green sensation is oriented towards reality. Intuition is focused on potentiality. And here, extroverted intuition is focused on opportunities and potentials in the outer world. And NI, introverted intuition, is the introverted imagination. It's creating these ideas inwardly, developing them inwardly. And then we also have introverted and extroverted feeling. So extroverted feeling is interacting, making connections, forming relationships with the world around you. That can be people or animals or objects like the house you live in. And introverted feeling is making an inner evaluation of what is important to you, what you like or dislike. Okay, so these are the four functions, and this is basically what Jung described in chapter 10. So if we look at his book, chapter 10, he describes introversion, extroversion, and thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. So this is basically what Jung described in 1921. But we can take this a step further, because one of the things that we have discovered, and also that Jung mentions in his book, is that these four functions, they don't act in isolation, but the perceiving and judging functions, they act in couples. So we have sensation with thinking, and sensation with feeling, right? And we have thinking with sensation and thinking with intuition. There. You have intuition interacting, forming a couple with feeling, and intuition, with thinking there, and intuition with thinking. And feeling pairs with sensation and with intuition. And these form 4 temperaments. These pairs, these couples, they form temperaments. And so and which you can describe with the letter code, so ST, SF, NF, and NT. But I also like to describe each of them. So the combination of sensation and thinking forms the temperament of the technician. This temperament really likes to create a logical order through, some kind of logical, practical system, and this can be either rules or a handbook or laws. And people who have the temperament of the technician as their, let's say, dominant temperament, you find them in professions like accountancy, law professionals, engineers. Those are the type of professions that you see people with this temperament occupy. And then if we go to sensation and feeling, well, that is sensation coupled with the feeling function. So that is much more about caring for people and animals in a very practical way. And that temperament I call the helper. So you have, for instance, you see this in professions like nursing or in all kinds of hospitality industries. This temperament also makes for a good host. You see it in the food industry. But this is about taking care of the practical needs of people. Okay, and then up here to the right of the technician, the intuitive thinkers are what I like to call inventors. They like to invent new technology, new science. They like to design new things that bring humanity forward, that transform. So this you see in science, in someone like Albert Einstein, who created a whole new theory. It was a theoretical scientist creating a new theory of the universe. But you also see it in someone like Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. And they like to invent new things. Now, intuition with feeling is also focused on creating a new future, but I like to call this the visionary, because they are about finding a new human reality. A good example is Martin Luther King, with his I Have a Dream speech, but also someone like Mahatma Gandhi fits that bill, Nelson Mandela. Those are the people that move humanity forward, and these are the people that move more technology forward. So Steve Jobs, but also an architect like Frank Lloyd Wright. That's this. And the visionary is also a good storyteller, likes to create a story, are also healers. You find these in the healing professions, in therapists, but also both of these you find in professions like marketing. And what Jung said is that Oh, hello, Eline.
Oh, are you on a call?
I'm making a video.
Oh.
Okay. And so each of us has a preference for each of the functions. So for either intuition, thinking, sensation, or feeling. And let's say your dominant preference is for feeling. Well, then basically you can cover these two temperaments. The visionary and the helper. Those you have access to. And if you're an intuitive type, this is your range of the personality. And this part of the personality is in your shadow. And for the red feeling types, this part is in the shadow. And blue thinking types, well, they have the technician and inventor temperament as the range of their personality. And the green sensation types, they of course have this, and then everything that belongs to the realm of intuition is in their shadow. And for each of these types, in order for them to grow and develop, they need to build what I call the spine of the personality. So for instance, if you're a red feeling type, you need to connect with your blue thinking function in the shadow. And if you are a yellow intuitive type, you need to build a bridge with green sensation. Well, and vice versa. And that is how you access the power of the power of polarities in your own personality. Now, I have created what you see here. I have created a model for like this, and yeah, this as I said, this you can find in my book, but this you can also find on my website at thepolarityinstitute.com. And yeah, here's also a description of each of the functions. So if you want to know more about my interpretation of Jungian psychology, yeah, check out my website. What you see here is also that, you know, each of those four temperaments, they have an introverted and extroverted expression. So for instance, the extroverted expression of the inventor is an innovator. And the introverted expression of the inventor is an architect. And so each of these temperaments have an inner and outer expression. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe and like. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or comments. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.